Alrighty. We have some tense happening, some tense moments. We are talking about Jesus' arrest today. So, let us start out with a quote here. Love is blind, let those who love now. Okay, this is the quote for today. If ever there was a case of clear evidence than this of persons acting in concert together, this case is that case. So this is by Sir R. McGarry from Arabianesque Law, 1969. I'm going to read it one more time. If there were ever a case of clearer evidence than this of persons acting in concert together, this case is that case. And how fitting, because this is on the topic of the law and Jesus. And when it comes to the law, things are handled case by case. So this is the case of Jesus' arrest. And there is very clear evidence of the Sanhedrin and the Jewish leaders, the religious leaders, acting in concert together. And then there's also a very clear case of Jesus and his disciples also acting in concert together. So it's really Jesus and his guys versus the Sanhedrin and their guys. Let's go ahead and begin with Matthew chapter 26. We're going to read through 36 to 75. And hang in there. This is an intense moment here. And Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane. He said to them, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." He took Peter, the two sons of Zebedee, along with him. Then he began, he took Peter and the two sons of Zebedee along with him, and he began to be sorrowful and troubled. He said to them, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch for me, or with me." Going a little farther, he fell to his face and to the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. "Couldn't you men keep watch with me for 1 hour?" he asked Peter. "Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." He went away a second time and prayed, "My Father, if it is not possible for this cup to be taken away unless I drink it, may your will be done." When he came back, again he found them sleeping, because their eyes were heavy. So he left and went away once more and prayed the third time, saying the same thing. Then he returned to the disciples and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Look, the hour has come, and the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer." While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd, armed with swords and clubs, sent by the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them. "The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him." Going at once to Jesus, Judas said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. Jesus replied, "Do what you came for, friend." Then the men stepped forward, seized Jesus, and arrested him. With that, one of Jesus' companions reached for his sword and drew it out and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear. "Put your sword back in its place," Jesus said to him, "for all who draw the sword will die by the sword. Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels? But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled that they say it must happen this way?" In that hour Jesus said to the crowd, "Am I leading a rebellion, that you have come out with swords and clubs to capture me? Every day I sat in the temple courts teaching, and you did not arrest me. But this has all taken place that the writings of the prophets may be fulfilled." Then all the disciples deserted him and fled. Those who had arrested Jesus took him to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the teachers of the law and the elders had assembled. But Peter followed him at a distance, right up to the courtyard of the high priest. He entered and sat down with the guards to see the outcome. The chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for false evidence against Jesus so that they could put him to death. But they did not find any. Hold on one moment. But they did not find any. They did not put that twice, my bad. But they did not find any, though many false witnesses came forward. Finally, 2 came forward and declared, "This fellow said, 'I am able to destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days.'" Then the high priest stood up and said to Jesus, "Are you not going to answer? What is this testimony that these men are bringing up against you?" But Jesus remains silent. The high priest said to him, "I charge you under oath by the living God. Tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God." "You have said so," Jesus replied. "But I say to all of you, from now on you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven." Then the high priest tore his clothes and said, "He has spoken blasphemy. Why do we need any more witnesses? Look now, you have heard blasphemy. What do you think?" "He is worthy of death," they answered. Then they spit in his face and struck him with their fists. Others slapped him and said, "Prophesy to us, Messiah, who hit you?" Now Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and the servant girl came to him. "You were also with Jesus of Galilee," she said. But he denied it before them all. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said. Then he went out to the gateway where another servant girl saw him and said to the people there, "This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth." He denied it again with an oath, "I don't know the man." After a little while, those standing there went up to Peter and said, "Surely you were one of them. Your accent gives you away." Then he began to call down the curses and swore to them, "I do not know the man." Immediately the rooster crowed. Then Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken, "Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." And he went outside and wept bitterly. So that is pretty much that, ladies and gentlemen. This is the moments leading up to the moment. Very intense. So we have the Sanhedrin trying to bring clear evidence against Jesus, but they really can't pin any criminal thing on him. They can't even really pin the when he talked about kind of like a terrorist activity. I don't think they had that terminology back then, but when he said he was going to destroy the church of God, he still said right after he would rebuild it after 3 days. And with how often Jesus spoke about parables, that's not really something to curse at anyone with, or to condemn anyone for, just as kind of a figure of speech or a parable, even if he was serious. But what they keep trying to pin on him, something that they can put people to death for, because the Church of Israel really controlled the whole nation, was blasphemy. And they kept trying to get him to say that he is the Son of God so they could pin blasphemy on him, therefore he can rightfully be put to death. Even then, they said, "Are you the Son of God?" Right? Say you're the Son of God. They're not looking for the right or wrong answer. They're not looking for him to say yes so they can let him go. They're looking for him to say yes so they can capture him and charge him with blasphemy. So he stays silent, right? But then he's like, he stays silent for the temple thing. He's like, whatever, I'm, my rights, I know my rights, I'm staying silent. And then they ask him, "Tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God." And it is kind of a tricky question for Jesus to answer or not answer truthfully. If he were to stay silent, he would look one way and he would look guilty. So he didn't stay silent. He said, "You have said so." I'm not saying that. You have said so. And then he's saying in general, "But I say to all of you, from now on you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming down on the clouds of heaven." He specifically did not say himself or, "You will see me." He just said the Son of Man. He wasn't necessarily meaning him, even though everyone knows, right? Everyone knows. But he did not say specifically, like, yes, I am the Messiah. He just said, from now on, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming down on the clouds of heaven. So essentially, yes, they immediately took that technically out of context, said, blasphemy, blasphemy, tore his clothes, spit on him, slapped him, punched him. And that part was really hard for Peter to watch. As you know, Peter was watching from a distance. Peter saw that, and hence why he had to deny any association with Jesus, because it put fear in him. He was scared. He was sorrowful for Jesus' circumstance at that time. He did not want to end up like Jesus. It was pure fear where he denied, ever knowing Jesus, which is unfortunate, but God is understanding of the fact that Peter was simply scared. He was scared, and there were certain tests. If you've seen the Passion of the Christ, the children that are coming up to him are actually demons. So you could argue that that's kind of like a test, right? By them, it's not really. God's like, whatever, but God understands that Peter was scared. Jesus, of course, is understanding of the fact that Peter was scared. But yeah, it's one of these things is very intense. We're leading up to the moments of his death. Jesus knows it is coming, but as we've spoken about before, he's so fearful. He knows it's coming, and he's just still like, please, like, if you can just find another way. And then I think that's why he prays so many times up in Gethsemane. He prays, and he's just like, please, like, if it's your will, but please find another way. And that's why I keep alluding to Jesus, or not Jesus, but God thinking of a way to work around just kind of exempting him of so much pain. Because even this moment where, Jesus is being spit on and he's being hit and slapped, how painful do you think even just watching that must be for God, right? The Father, the one who sent him there, and, knowing this type of thing was going to happen, but God always proves that there's another way, and there's a way, to kind of resolve to the best of the abilities. Because right there, that's traumatic. That's traumatic, and it's sad, and it's really just a miserable sight to go ahead and witness, even as a God, even, being all-powerful, watching your son, somebody that you sent, that it just seems like, the most painful thing. But yeah, that's really it. That we got actually through that really, really fast. Like I said, these are kind of just one-off type of topics. I don't know if I'm going to have too much time to write the next one today, but I already took some time off of work this morning, and we are about to get back on the phones. But we're going to talk about Jesus's trial next, and we will learn about that. So yes, I hope you all have a great Monday. Stay blessed. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.